Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2020 mid-month general reading. Welcome everyone. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today. Thanks for all that you do, have done, continue to do in support of this channel. Your likes, shares, subscribes, hit that subscribe button, your donations, everything that you do, every little bit is welcome and appreciated. Thank you. So this reading is for the air sign of Gemini, our beloved twins, for the last 2 weeks of July. That's Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising. If your Venus is in Gemini, if you're cross-watching for a Gemini, watch all of your signs if you know them, if you can. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Because general readings, of course, resonate a little differently for everybody who watches. Everybody's different. And watching all of them can each of them can bring in additional insight or information and give you kind of a clearer perspective on or into what's going on in your life right now. If any of the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading or information, you can click on the description link below, click on that little arrow. You'll see my email address there, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. Please feel free to email me. I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours with more info. And I do readings full-time. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent at working with your schedule and my schedule to get readings out to you in as timely a fashion as possible. And I do offer a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, of different types and lengths and costs. So if you're interested, shoot me an email and set something up for you. All right, Gemini, let's see what the last half of July has in store for you. I'm using Legacy of the Divine Tarot and clarifying, if we need to clarify, with the Gilded Tarot Royale. I hope everyone is staying safe and well and as sane as we can all be on a day-to-day basis with the world changing always. Okay, sorry, I almost said Aquarius. Gemini. We begin with the Nine of Swords, followed by the Seven of Coins, the Knight of Cups, followed by the Six of Swords. Now I know why. It's very similar to Aquarius. At least it looks that way so far. From the bottom of the deck, the King of Coins, and right behind it, which I'm going to take, is the Two of Wands. Let me look at the next card or two from the top. Temperance. Yeah. It's very similar to the your other sister air sign Aquarius. Family conflict over there, and trying to kind of figure out how to work your way through it and bring balance back to a situation, and try to do it in the right or most ethical way possible. And it looks like you're kind of stressing out over how to offer perhaps help and guidance and to achieve healing in a situation. It's not quite so clear here as it was in Aquarius that it might be family. With Aquarius, it felt more like family or home conflict. Here, I'm not sure. We'll pull some clarifiers. We also, in Aquarius, had an earth sign showing up as influential. And here, it's the overall focus as well, the King of Coins, otherwise known as the King of Pentacles in other decks. So the King of Earth energy. Money, property, resources, assets, job, etc. Somebody who has matured and evolved to the point where he's, reached a balanced mastery over the character traits inherent to him. So probably somebody who is financially comfortable, if not well off. He's worked hard to get to that. He often has, comfortable or luxurious things around him in his environment. He likes those things. He's very generous and solid, stable, reliable, sincere, loyal, typically. Although he has his challenges, he can also be a bit stubborn. This is showing up as your overall energy for the last half of July. So it can also be your energy or somebody that's external but significant or influential. It could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn person, sun, moon, or rising. Could be a father, a husband. It could be anybody. I mean, in a general reading. Now, accompanying is the Two of Wands, which is a card about being at a crossroads, as twos often are, duality, choices, trying to make a decision, which box to unlock with this key. It's a card of trying to decide what to do. It looks like you're taking stock, taking inventory, taking a look at what you have invested in this particular situation or relationship. That's what the Seven of Coins is about. It's a card of reflection, inventory, taking stock, looking at what you have invested in something and trying to make a decision based on that. Has the harvest is the crop that you've put so much effort into growing, whatever that is, situation, a relationship, etc. Is what you're getting back justifying the effort you're putting into it? Should you maintain it? Can you make it better? Should you make changes? Should you just take what you can and leave and go start a new crop somewhere else? It's a card of kind of looking at everything you have invested, looking at what you have as a result of that and making decisions. There's a lot of stress because over it is the Nine of Swords. I always say I hate seeing this card for people. It's not that the source of your anxiety, stress, fear, insomnia, whatever, is not valid. But this is a card that represents thinking about it over and over again, around and around, to such an extreme that it becomes so big and horrible in your head that it's overwhelming. It's kind of a card of your worst fears and anxieties about the future hijacking your rational mind. It doesn't need to be this bad. So you can cut back on some of that energy by using this rational energy. So next to that we have the Knight of Cups, who's the Knight of Water. He's the Knight of Emotion. He goes charging out to offer his love, support, encouragement, promising the sun, the moon, and the stars. This is an offer or an opportunity coming in, or that you're extending outwards, of love, support, and encouragement at the very least. It's sitting next to the Nine of Swords. So I'm not sure if this is you're stressed out about an incoming offer or opportunity of some kind, or whether you're trying to figure out if you can be this Knight of Cups, how to offer whatever it is that you can in order to achieve healing. There's healing that's definitely needed here. And it's about whether you're going to get help and support in that, or whether you're offering help and support, and if so, how. Because the Six of Swords accompanies that Knight of Cups, which is healing. It's moving away from choppy waters into calm waters, and slowly getting to a point where you can be on, to the other side and on solid ground. It's transitional, so it's moving through a healing process. So let's clarify this a bit. Let's clarify that Nine of Swords, first of all. I really don't like the Nine of Swords. I mean, we've all been there. It's not that it's not valid, it's just that it's too much. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and your head's just like going around and around and around and around. What do I do if this happens? What do I do if this doesn't happen? Trying to write the script for a future which hasn't played out yet, and your fears are telling you it's going to be the worst possible thing. Your fears and anxieties and insecurities, usually about the future, just hijacking your rational mind that sections things out and looks at things piece by piece. It's like it's like you're chewing on it too much. I think you need a bit of a break from it. But let's take a look and see what this is. Decisions about or around that King of Coins. That might be decisions you need to make around a father, a husband, a brother. I mean, it's showing up as a king, could just as well be a female. Perhaps, like Aquarius, there's conflict in the home. It might be around a child or an elderly person. Okay, so what's the stress about? The Two of Cups, which Aquarius got too. So it might be a partner, soulmate, kindred spirit, best friend, whether it's romantic or otherwise. What to do about this situation? The Fool. Should I have a new beginning? Should I just throw caution out the window and just start off on a brand new journey? And just like Aquarius, At the bottom here is the King of Pentacles, the wife or partner or counterpart to the King of Coins. So, and Temperance again. You really should watch the Aquarius video. It's very, very similar. Your sister air sign. Maybe it's, sometimes elemental signs share the same sort of common thread. The Four of Swords. What do I do to bring balance into this situation with my partner, whether it's romantic love or best friend, kindred spirit? So there's some kind of issue, some kind of conflict there that needs balance. Let's see if we can clarify that just a little bit further. Seven of Coins is taking a look at what you've invested in something, someone. Let's clarify the Six of Swords. What would this healing look like? The Eight of Cups. Leaving, walking away, turning your back. The Hermit, kind of going it alone. Okay, I'm seeing it here. So, it feels like you're stressed out, very stressed out, Gemini. The decision being to stay or go. That's kind of glossing over. There's probably a lot of different things in each of your lives behind each of that. What does stay mean? What does go mean? Do I make an offer? Is there something that I can do to fix the situation, or should I just remove myself from the situation? Doesn't necessarily mean leaving forever, but just pull out or remove myself because there needs to be healing. I need to be on my own for a bit because I can't get healing in the midst of all this. For you, this feels like, as opposed to Aquarius, it might be just about a relationship issue with your partner or a best friend. It looks like you're contemplating whether or not to keep trying, keep investing more, or to turn your back and kind of go your own path by yourself. Or to, keep investing and keep extending this offer. It might be that the other side, the other person, whatever is on the other side of the situation or relationship, might be doing the Knight of Cups, making the offer of love, support, encouragement. We can get through this. And you're just thinking, can we? I mean, I'm looking at everything I have invested in there, but I don't know if it's, if continuing to invest is the right thing, or should I just kind of, turn my back and leave. So, it feels pretty challenging. But I'm telling you, Gemini, please cut this down to an 8, a 7, a 6, 5, 4, 3. It doesn't need to be. I think it might do some good if you can to remove yourself even for just a few days, a weekend or something, so that you can get a bit of a reprieve. Sometimes it's hard to see the answer, the way through something when you're it's all surrounding you. You need to get some separation, some distance, a little bit of perspective. Maybe distract yourself, forget about it for a day or two, or do something, get away from it. Sometimes you can see something clearly by removing yourself and getting a different perspective and viewpoint rather than when you're in there. It's like when you're in the bottom of the valley, you can't see the whole thing, but when you leave and you go up a little ways on a hill, then you can look down and go, oh, I see the whole thing now. I think you might want to consider doing that. Let's see what the advice is from Spirit. What's the best way for Gemini to kind of navigate through this, at least for this last half of July? What should they do, or what should they focus on? I personally feel like you need to get away for 2 or 3 days, indulge in a bubble bath and a bottle of wine, and, take a Valium or something. Well, not all at the same time, of course, but, you need some perspective, I think. Ace of Cups. This can sometimes represent new love and romance, but it also represents the beginning of the heart opening up again. But it can also represent, self-love and self-renewal. The beginning, kind of being at the beginning of coming to a place of awareness of your self-worth and self-value, so that you make decisions which are actually healthier and better for yourself. Right behind that we have Death, which represents endings or utter transformations of what? A relationship, the Lovers. Judgment and opportunity, the Empress, Ten of Swords, and the Tower. Did something happen? Some major unexpected event? Was there betrayal or cheating or infidelity? I don't know. Something happened in this relationship, partnership situation, and a decision needs to be made. Some of you, it may be that you need to pull out, because that's actually what would be better for yourself, and it would be telling yourself that you care enough to do what's best for you, even if there's aspects of it that hurt. It might be that there's an opportunity for renewal in this situation. But it looks like if this is about a specific relationship and partnership for the Geminis that I'm reading for, it looks like there's major problems within a relationship. And if that relationship is to continue in a positive and healthy way, there has to be complete and utter transformation, or else it's not going to work. And if you know in your heart of hearts, I think you know in your heart of hearts, perhaps, if that is possible or not. Because if it's not, then you need to make a decision on whether it's time to pull out or whether you can just stay and live with it the way that it is. Always a really difficult situation to be in, especially if this is a long-term thing that you've, invested quite a bit into. I've tried pulling some more advice cards, and we got the Hermit. So this is a card definitely represents walking your own path, at least for the time being. We're only looking at the last half of July. Remember, it's a 2-week period of time. At the very least, the Hermit represents taking time off in solitude, getting away if you can, or find ways to carve out bits of time during the day where you can just kind of retreat from the distractions and noise of the day-to-day world in order to contemplate this and to see if Temperance, if there's a rebalancing that can happen, and to bring yourself back into grounding. Because it feels like you need to achieve grounding and harmony, and and whatever is going on, it doesn't feel like you can do it right now in the midst of that. There's a decision that obviously needs to be made here, but I feel like for the last half of July, it's less about that, at least in the beginning, and more about pulling out of this energy, finding some way to remove yourself from this energy, or having a particular time each day where you can, in order to get a break from it, so that you can come back to it with a different, a more refreshed perspective on it. Because it's unclear, I think, what the decision is for you right now. So I think it's about kind of taking a step back for sure, and taking some time off to consider what you have invested in this, what you're getting out of it. Do those things match up? And if not, realistically, is there anything that can be done? Because, two people can't make changes in a relationship unless both people are totally on board for it. It just doesn't work, right? So kind of taking a look at that. But I think for a relatively short period of time, Gemini, you need to kind of actually give yourself a bit of a mental vacation from it. Go enjoy yourself, go do something for yourself, go, it's not like it's not going to be running in the back of your head, but again, it's like being in the midst of a battle in the valley, on the floor of the valley, and all you can see is the battle and trying to get through every second, every minute, and that's not really a perspective. It's about kind of just temporarily leaving the battle and going up on another ridge where you can kind of see the overall thing, and it gives you a different perspective and a different direction, and maybe some ideas on what direction to go in. This feels like you're kind of in the midst of that battle on the ground, and you can't see anything except for the next second, the next 10 seconds, and kind of getting through the next 5 minutes or the next hour. And you need to remove yourself from this at least temporarily, and, maybe just forget about it. Well, not entirely if you can, but kind of distract yourself with some pleasant things or some self-care things, and try and get a different bit of a perspective on this and a direction, because you're not going to get it, in the midst of this energy, because all you can see is the how awful it's going to be, because that's the way your fears are writing it out in your head, so less of that. So, Gemini, that is your reading for the last half of July. Uh, like some readings, I'm not going to say I hope you enjoyed it, because it looks like, this looks like a bit of a challenging time, and you're going to get through it. But I think you just need to take a little bit of time off from it. So I won't say I hope you enjoyed it, but I hope it did give you some insight, some clarification, some feedback, some ideas. And again, if you want to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a reading or information, click on that little arrow that pulls down info. Email me directly at maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the August 2020 general readings. Until then, stay safe, stay well. I wish you much peace and blessings and insight, and some joy and laughter, okay, for the next couple of weeks. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.